Yeah, that just stays there.
So it's my pleasure to kick off this Veterans Day Recognition Assembly, and we would like to welcome all of our veterans as we take time to recognize those who served our country faithfully. There are many things for which our veterans should be recognized and celebrated. Our veterans are men and women who are determined, disciplined, and dedicated. They are tough, they're resilient, they're problem solvers, and we're willing to face challenges that most of us will never have to face in our lifetime. In the United States, we characterize ourselves as the home of the free. Freedom often comes with a price, and for our country, that price was paid on the battlefield. Our veterans, for a time, gave up their personal freedoms so that you and I could maintain our freedoms. I'm sure that all of us can identify a veteran that is near and dear to our hearts. And so with that in mind, I would like to ask all of our veterans who are present here today to stand and to be recognized. Please stand, veterans. Thank you. It's been a time-honored tradition to sing the national anthem as a show of respect for our country and remember the cost of freedom. And there's no better time than on a day where we celebrate and honor our veterans. So I'd like to ask the Eureka High School Vocal Jazz Group to come and sing the national anthem.
At this time, I would like to ask any of our students who are going to join the military to come down and help join me in saying the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. At this point, the EHS band is going to play some military songs for us. Great job. Thank you, EHS band and color guard. At this point, I would like to introduce our guest speaker for the day. Our speaker is Mr. Mike Neese, who is a native of Bloomington, Illinois. He served in the U.S. Army in 1967 and 1968. He was a combat medic in Vietnam and was part of the 25th Infantry Division. He was awarded the Bronze Star, the Army Commendation Medal, and the Purple Heart. Today, he is going to help us honor and understand the importance of Veterans Day.
Today, as y'all know, we observe Veterans Day, which also marks the end of what was called at that time the Great War. Americans in 1918 could not ever conceive of another world war so terrible, and how long they were. In only 10 years, 9 months and 21 days, another world war began. And with the start of World War II, the Great War became World War I. A lot of men and women left home because of those wars. And I would suggest that that's how we might think of Veterans Day today. Think of it as a leaving home day. The one constant in all wars is the individual. The soldier, the sailor, the marine, the airman. To fulfill those different roles, someone had to leave home. You heard that I participated in the Vietnam War. Over 58,000 American service personnel left their homes, but never left Vietnam alive. And 2,936 of those individuals were from Illinois. Since I was a medic, I remember that 1,404 Army medics in the Vietnam War never saw their home. 997 individuals were killed on the first day in Vietnam. 1,448 were killed on what was to have been their last day, and in reality was their last day, not only in Vietnam, but on this earth. There are 31 sets of brothers who were killed in Vietnam, and 2 sets of fathers and sons. On one of the last days of medical training, our sergeant gave us his final lecture before graduation. He told us that we had learned all they could teach us about being a medic. We had the procedures down, but he also wanted to tell us, however, is that they could prepare us for the emotional side of being a medic journey as well. He said, it won't be easy, it never is. You will find yourself doing dangerous, risky things in order to help your men. You will think only of their well-being, and you will forget about your own. It is a strange thing to leave your home and go to war. You keep thinking that you are leaving a familiar place, but you might never see it again. It was a combat medic's job in Vietnam to attend to the physical and emotional well-being of approximately 25 riflemen. And if one of them was wounded, the medic was to get to that person as fast as he could and to keep him alive until he could be evacuated by a helicopter. We had trained and drilled and rehearsed for war, and each day revealed how well those lessons had been learned. The war tried to kill us every day. It did not care about objectives or boundaries. It did not care whether we were loved by many or by few. And while we slept, the war came to us in our dreams. During a firefight, the shout for a medic, repeated in rapid succession, was something we all needed to do. It shattered the hope that everyone who made it through unscathed. That shout meant that someone had fallen, that someone had been hit. The word medic, however, also brought a kind of comfort to each soldier. Deep down in every man was the fear that he would be wounded and defenseless and have to watch helplessly as life bled from his body. So the word medic was more than a call of desperation. It was a promise, understood and honored by every man. The call would never go unheeded. The promise would never be broken. When the call went out, the soldier knew that a person with a medic's bag over his shoulder would come to his aid, even in the face of direct fire. But if the medic became a casualty, another would take his place. When I lost my first man, and the first man that I had under my care died, the sergeant's admonition back in medical training came back to me. To this day, I can remember that wound. I remember how he looked. It took me a long time to get over it. I continued to second guess myself obsessing on what I might have done wrong or what I didn't do. The memories became a burden. The beat in more leaves its mark on a man. When I left home, I didn't know the day was coming when I would call into a jungle clearing while being fired at to attempt to a wounded rifleman. When I left home, I didn't know I would bathe and feed Vietnamese orphans who lived in the garbage dump. And then I would push the stomach of an 18-year-old soldier back in. He was in Illinois. I didn't know that I would bandage the wounds of an enemy soldier who had been taken prisoner. Leaving Illinois, I had no way of knowing that my favorite sergeant would be shot in the forehead right beside me during the night patrol. And I would rage and despise myself for days and weeks because I hadn't been able to keep him alive. I didn't know any of that at that point. Well, in the crucible of war, incredible things happened. Ordinary individuals with no wish to be there perform into superhuman stresses, come back with amazing self-assurance. They fought and suffered with a modest, everyday dignity of workers doing their jobs. Mostly they obeyed. Routinely, they grumbled and kept going. Individuals behaved as well or as poorly as their capabilities allowed. Routinely, men made decisions that determined whether they lived or died, and whether those around them survived or perished. Decisions had to be made in an instant, and in that instant, in that fierce fusion of conflicting impulses and emotions, fear and beauty among them, the individual true character was revealed, or not only defined the character, it created new dimensions of it, new opportunities for its expression. Coming through a battle, most soldiers were surprised to discover that they had outperformed their expectations. Young men left home, entered the service quickly, were trained quickly, shipped to Vietnam quickly, and some died quickly. They died far from home, as their basketball and football trophies gathered dust back in their bedrooms. Eventually, I got to do what all soldiers do, and I got to go home. It happened earlier than I expected, or probably anyone expected, because I've been moving. I returned to the United States flat on my back, but so glad to be alive. I can tell you the day I served with heroes, men who over and over performed acts of courage and valor. Day after day, they went out to do their job under the most horrific of circumstances. I remember men who would tell me that they were slightly injured with maybe a broken finger, or with small pieces of shrapnel, metal, embedded in their neck and chest. Because they were taken away from someone who they thought was off. They were the seemingly ordinary individuals that you meet every day, you get work, extraordinary things. They were the sons and brothers and husbands and fathers of a country in war. And when it was over and peace came, those who were spared came back to teach a child to read, to design a building, or to prepare a field for spring planting. I cannot tell you that there is glory in war. I can tell you, however, that there is satisfaction in doing your duty, honor in serving your country, and peace in the midst of war. If you are anchored to that which is greater than the mere trivial things of this world, which so quickly pass away. When we're young, we tell ourselves that when we are older, we will do exactly what we want to do. No one is going to tell us what to do. And since youth is hope, we believe that we will control our destiny. At some point, in that mysterious cycle to adulthood, we come to realize that while we will not get to do all the things we want to, we will be allowed the opportunity to do the right things for our neighbors, for our community, and for our country. And it is from those acts of good that history is shaped. The veterans we honor today stepped into history. Most didn't do what they wanted to do, but rather they did what they felt should be done. They were obedient to their call, and some were obedient to death. If you were an American born in 1843, you were 18 when the Civil War began, a war in which over 600,000 of your generation was killed. If you were born in 1898, you were 18 when the United States entered World War I, and over 116,000 of your generation was killed. If you were born in 1923, you were 18 when the United States entered World War II, and over 405,000 of your generation was lost. And if you were born in 1932, you were 18 when the Korean War began, and over 36,000 of your generation was lost. And if you were born near the end or just after World War II, there were 58,000 of your generation was lost in Vietnam. And since Vietnam, over 7,000 military personnel have left home and did not return to home. Right now, as we gather here, every night when we used to be safe in our beds, every minute of every day, somewhere the American military man or woman is on duty. We live in freedom today because they left home. I thank you for remembering them today. We've got to continue to bless us all. May we continue to bless the United States of
Thank you, Mr. Meese, for your service and for your words today. We deeply appreciate it. At this time, we are going to post the color guard for the day, the colors, and I will finish with some closing remarks. I would like to close today by thanking all of our veterans. I think another round of applause for Phil today. I am deeply appreciative of the fact that Mr. Meese is going to give up part of his day to help us to honor and celebrate the veterans in our community. Please make sure that you thank the veterans in your life and let them know that you appreciate their service and sacrifice. At this point, we are going to conclude the assembly. I am going to ask that our students head back to second hour so we can get back on the schedule for today. And so we'll be releasing in just a moment. Thank you.